welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
On your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, our guest this morning is Dr. Ginny Veloz, who is the owner of one of our sponsors, Santa Clarita Hearing Center. That's good. I keep saying good morning, but it's good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Welcome.
I guess I
Welcome,
can
Jenny.
take this off. Thank
There
you.
we are. Yes.
Thank you.
So how's it going, Jean?
A little cooler, I think, don't you, Barb?
A little bit,
Jenny,
but not much.
Well, we've had some days where it seems like we've had a lull and the temperature down to even 90. So there's Mother Nature is giving us a sign.
It's a very hot sign right now.
You're right.
Ginny agrees with me.
I'm just patiently waiting for winter.
Oh, I think we're going to really have to be patient,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So, Ginny,
Yes, ma'am.
we're talking about hearing.
Yes.
And hearing loss and hearing gain and everything involving hearing.
Yes. Well, first off, I want to wish a Happy New Year to everybody who celebrates Rosh Hashanah. We had our New Year yesterday, and so Happy
Yes.
New Year to
Yes.
those who celebrate. Hearing. Something I want to bring up that I've been seeing a lot of in my clinic, interestingly enough, is sudden hearing loss. Somebody wakes up in the morning and boom, can't hear in one of their ears. And it happens a lot more than you would imagine. But I've been seeing it a lot recently, a lot more for some reason. I'm not sure why. So I just want to reiterate that if that should happen, a lot of times we think, oh, I must have wax in my ears. I'll have to make an appointment and go next week and have somebody take a look at that. If you wake up and you have a sudden loss, don't wait. If it's wax, great, we'll get it out that day. But there's medication that's needed should it be a real nerve damage, sudden hearing loss, that needs to be given within about 24 hours of it happening.
Really?
So, I had a patient come in with almost no hearing in one ear. Almost. One ear perfectly normal, and one ear almost completely gone. No word understanding at all in that ear. Woke up that way, sudden. We got her in quickly. We got her treated quickly. She came back to me 1 week later. Perfect hearing in both ears.
Okay, so what was the problem?
Most likely a virus that attacks the ear, sees it as an enemy.
Interesting.
Yeah, so...
You mean viruses can attack the ears also?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
my goodness. Well, you learn
So-
something new every day, don't you?
Yes.
Wow.
So we don't treat
That's
them lightly,
amazing.
and typically, you call in and say, I've woke up and I cannot hear in one of my ears, and physicians' offices should know that needs to be treated like come down right now or today sometime, and we will get you in. And if your physician's office is unsure and asking you to come in next week, then call me and I will get you in today and get you seen if necessary by an ENT. I'll help you get that.
So what causes sudden loss? What kind of virus is it?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I just know that it is a virus that can attack the ear, and just treat it as an enemy and, start going at it, and the hearing just goes away immediately. And there's no word understanding at all. So I can't even get anybody to repeat any words or anything in that ear. And, like I said, if we can get the treatment done quickly, then we have the best chance possible at bringing it back. It doesn't always work.
Well, so what kind of medication would you take for loss in an ear?
It's typically an ENT would prescribe steroids, like a prednisone or something like that.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah, it works like kind of as a vasodilator, which opens everything up, gets the blood flow through there. Blood carries oxygen, and that's what the ear needs to kind of regenerate itself, start
Wow.
breathing again. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's
Well, is there any kind of research being done on possibly finding out what this virus is?
oh, I'm sure there's always research being done on it. I don't know, Dr. Dario. Are you familiar with a specific kind of virus?
I think there are several different kinds of virus that can cause problems with the ear, as well as other parts of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, once you recognize that there's a problem, sudden onset sudden hearing loss, you have to act fairly quickly,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's the middle of the night, or even if it's the weekend, a holiday weekend. You need to be on top of that. And I agree. There are certain treatments depending on what it might be. I mean, the simplest thing obviously is earwax,
Mm-hmm.
and that can be simply taken care of. But when it comes to viruses, things like that, could be something else. And if it's not a virus, it could be something more threatening, even a tumor.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to be on top of this and recognize that there's an ongoing problem. And, most of the time, though, these problems come on slowly. So you might not recognize it right away. So that's where the big problem lies. Sudden onset is easier unless you live by yourself and don't understand it's unilateral, one-sided, and that you're not talking on the telephone or
Mm-hmm.
listening to the radio or television, so you might not recognize it right away. But most of us live in a world where sounds are on a daily basis, and once you start to develop something like this, you need to act on it. So viruses, and there are different viruses that can cause it. We're not good with viruses, but we are good with treating the surrounding problems related to inflammation and giving the steroids, which would decrease the inflammation. But you have to determine first what it is. You just can't all of a sudden think, oh, it must be a virus, and I heard it on the radio that you can take a steroid. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-mm.
One has to go to the ultimate professional, seek help right away, and then allow them to make those decisions for you,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a common problem.
You're right. And I was going to say a lot of my patients tell me they don't notice it until they go to talk on the phone, and then they thought there was nobody there and hung
Hmm.
up, and then the phone rings again, and the same thing happens, and they figure it out. And then a lot of times, especially if it's after hours or weekends, people, obviously they go to urgent care, they go to the emergency room, and without having a hearing test or an audiologist available at that moment, it's very common that they are prescribed antibiotics, assuming, oh, you have fluid and we'll give you some antibiotics and see if we can take care of that. And
Hmm.
a lot of times it probably is. However, when it's something that comes on so suddenly like that, um, without that steroid treatment, and unfortunately, what we see is that I woke up in the morning. I realized I couldn't hear. I went to the urgent care. They looked at it. They gave me antibiotics and told me to follow up with my doctor in 10 days. So in 10 days, I went to see my primary care physician who gave me a different antibiotic because I still can't hear. And I went back in another 10 days and I still couldn't hear. And then they ordered the audiogram for me and my visit with my hearing doctor. And now we're 20 or 30 days out from that sudden loss, and chances are, that's going to be a permanent loss now.
Well, now,
Yeah, something more
you being
damaging will take place.
Hmm.
you being an audiologist, then you were talking about an ENT, ear,
Hmm.
nose, and throat
Ear,
specialist.
nose, and throat.
What is the difference here?
That's a good question. An audiologist is a clinical doctorate. So in my office, Do case histories. I do diagnostic testing. I interpret the diagnostic test results, and then I report that into an ear, nose, and throat physician who is an MD who prescribes medication and who
Oh,
does surgery.
oh, so you're not an MD then,
No,
being an audiologist.
no, my doctorate is an AUD, which is a doctorate in audiology, which is a clinical doctorate as
Oh,
opposed to an MD.
wow.
Correct.
Well, there I've learned something else today. Good heavens.
We're full of good stuff.
I'm going to get overwhelmed with new stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is interesting. I did not know that.
So a lot of times if we say, "Oh, I'm having this problem, I'm going to go straight to my ear, nose, and throat doctor," they're going to see you and they're going to say, "It's nice to see you." They're going to look in your ear and then they're going to say, "Go have a hearing test." Because they really can't do
Send you
anything
to an
unless
audiologist.
correct, because they can't
Oh
without the
my
testing,
goodness.
right? So, in the field of audiology, we're working on becoming an entry level um, profession where right now, in order for Medicare to cover the cost of a visit to an audiologist, there's a prescription that's needed by the primary care physician, which means that technically you go to your primary care physician first. When, what we're saying is we know what needs to be done, and if further treatment is needed, medication, surgery, things like that, then we will refer on as the primary care did to us.
You would refer to an ENT.
An ear, nose, and throat.
Oh my goodness.
So that's going to probably be, a big change coming, hopefully, in the near future, that you won't need that for Medicare purposes anymore.
Well, but does Medicare cover? It doesn't cover hearing,
Medicare covers a hearing exam.
just the exam.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I
And
knew
there are
that.
laws right now pending, as you all have heard, possibly allowing better access to hearing specialists in the future if these laws can pass through the legislature in Washington, D.C.
Well, they
So
really need
some of
to do that in a hurry.
well,
Well,
No,
it's tied
because
in with a bunch of
a
other
bunch of
laws.
other.
but
That's
Medicare,
that's the thing,
yes, but Medicare is for the elderly.
right?
Yes, but there's a lot more, politics, excuse the pun.
That's what it is.
It's
It's
a
all
lot of
politics.
politics included with it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
unfortunately, the rest of us are,
We're
you know,
lost.
we're lost in the battle and for the money,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, is what's happening.
Interesting.
So-
But for years on this radio show, we have discussed the need for our seniors to be able to have audiology exams. We have discussed the need for dental exams and visual exams. So these are basic to quality of life for our seniors. And once you are hampered by any of these problems, it can negatively change one's life. So we're just thankful, Jenny, that we have you available to give good advice to our listening seniors about what needs to be done, what symptoms they might have, how treatment might be, and the knowledge that there are healthcare professionals that will be available through you and me and others in the community to be able to possibly save one's hearing and even life. So,
Absolutely.
we've been, that's why you're on the show, to let our listeners hear about these potential problems so they and family members, the caregivers, can be aware as well. Education is power, and providing that through you being on our show makes a huge difference, at least to our listening audience.
And I just want to point out that on our website, we have an emergency after hours number that can be called. So if it is a weekend, if it is, an evening, when your doctor isn't available, you can always call. You may leave a message, but we will call you back as quickly as we can. Um, and we'll direct you in as to what needs to be done. And that goes for our patients, and it goes for people who aren't our patients yet. We're always happy to help educate and help give advice where we can in order to direct you if this should happen, something like this, a sudden type of hearing loss.
Well, now, have you ever considered going further and being an ENT?
No,
You haven't?
no,
That would
because
require a lot of extra
it
education.
it's starting over. So I'd
Oh,
have to go to
really?
medical school, and then I'd have to do an additional however many hundred of years to get the specialty. So it's not something that you just add on to audiology. For
Really?
me, my education, originally, my first degree was in psychology. So I have my bachelor's degree in psychology, which I feel helps me every single day when
Oh,
I'm
yes.
talking to patients and spouses and helping them through this journey of hearing loss. And then I went back to school and got my undergraduate in communicative disorders, my master's degree specifically in audiology, and then on for my doctorate in audiology. So, that's been many, many, many years of education. And my education is for purposes of diagnostic testing and treating with hearing aids as opposed to medicine and surgery. That's a whole different path.
Yeah, a much more complicated one, probably.
Um, I'm, sh- I'm sure. I mean, I don't, it's just a different kind of complication. I
Yeah.
would think, where we're trained in the testing, treatment with amplification. Um, you know, they go, an ENT would, obviously go through pharmacology and, you know, get their
A lot more.
doctor,
Yeah, a
their
lot
MD
more.
first.
Yeah, a lot more. I
Yeah.
can understand that. Well, it's interesting because I've had hearing tests before, and sitting in a room, and I see the audiologist outside with this machine,
Hmm.
and hearing all these funny noises, and say, "Yes, I heard that. No, I didn't hear that. Yes," and it's quite a procedure. It really is. And
Well,
then uh, different buttons light up, don't they?
yeah, a lot of people go, oh, so you push the buttons. That's what you do. But it is way more
I know.
complicated. We study the auditory system, of course, but we also study the brain and how the brain processes sound. And in the undergraduate level, we study speech pathology as well as audiology. They're combined. So from the diaphragm up and how we breathe and how our tongue produces sounds. And that all is really important when we talk about hearing loss because if you can't hear yourself speak, you start to lose the ability to pronounce the words correctly. And you may hear this with somebody who has a very severe hearing loss, that when they take their hearing aids out, you can hear what happens to their speech. They start to lose the way they pronounce their words. Put the hearing aids back in, and boom, it's like it all comes back.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's all tied together. It's all tied together. So it's a lot more than pushing buttons. Yes, during that test we're pushing buttons and we're
But you're
working.
also seeing a picture of the brain too,
We are we are watching the way the brain is working
right?
and processing the sounds, and that doesn't mean I have a video screen and I'm watching how the brain is working at that moment. It means I know how the auditory nerves work with the brain and how things are passed through, and I'm watching for signs that there could be something that's not right.
Very,
So
very
yeah,
interesting. Wow.
it's a very complicated system if you look at the ear, and there's a lot of moving parts in this little tiny little tiny
Yeah, it's a
organ.
little tiny
Little,
narrow passageway,
and there's a whole lot going on.
and there's a lot of little things that are moving around in there, aren't
Yeah,
there? Yeah, let's talk about that when we come back
I'd
from
like
the break.
to. I'd like
Yeah,
to.
that's very
Yeah.
interesting because I have a picture in my mind. This little narrow way and all these tiny little things quivering around. But that's what happens.
That's exactly what
Yes.
happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break now. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to Mend, M-E-N-D, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch. Full menu and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
Dutton Plumbing, it's Eric.
Son, it's Mother.
Mom, where have you been? I left 3 voicemail messages. We're supposed to be working on the Dutton Plumbing recruitment campaign.
Who answers their phone anymore? I text like everybody else, son.
You text?
Yes. Ernesto, my exotic dance class teacher, taught me how to text, among other things.
Wait, what? Exotic dance class? Mom? Anyway, we need more plumbers and techs to apply for work. You know, thanks to our $73 drain clearing, we just keep growing. We offer great pay, ongoing training, health insurance, 401k, even a batting cage for fun. We got to get the word out.
Well, why don't you let people apply for work by text? Make it fast and easy, son. Just like that college girl you used to date.
Mom?
Plumbers and techs. Now it's easy to apply for work at Dutton Plumbing. Just text the word MOM to 25000. You'll be asked some questions, and in less than 2 minutes, you'll be done. DuttonPlumbing.com. License number 1058213. Some restrictions apply.
We salute our veterans who sacrifice for our freedom. Every week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com. Thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
Visit hometownstation.com, sponsored by Eternal Valley.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with one of our sponsors, Dr. Ginny Veloz, owner of the Santa Clarita Hearing Center. And before the break, I had talked to you a little bit about this ear passage and all these little things that wiggle around inside.
Yeah.
Can you go more into depth about that? Because
yes.
that's fascinating.
So if we take the ear, we can break the ear up into 3 different sections: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The outer ear is the pinna, or what you see on the outside of the head, and the ear canal. So we can look in there, we can look for wax, we can look for infection, we can see those things. And then the eardrum, we're looking at the eardrum. So things that might affect the outer ear, again, wax, infection, things like that. Once you go past the eardrum, you have the middle ear space.
Okay, first, what is the eardrum? What does that mean? Because I envision these round things that you bang on, you know.
If you think of, it's almost like like a saran wrap, a thin membrane. And what that does, the importance of that is when sound comes in, when you hear a sound, what that is it's waves coming through the air, and it's going into our ear, because our pinna, the outside, the piece on the outside of the ear, is there to capture as much as it can, and it directs it into the ear canal. And then those waves go into the ear canal, and they hit the eardrum, and the eardrum bounces back and forth.
Wow.
And then that begins a process. When that eardrum moves back and forth, there's 3 little tiny bones right on the other side of the eardrum. The 3 smallest bones in the entire body, the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. And they work like a lever. Here's what I tell my patients. Think of your leg. You have the top, the femur part of your leg. You have your knee. You have the femur. Then you have like your shin, and then you have your foot.
Right.
And they're connected with a joint.
Right.
And when we walk, everything kind of works so that we can walk properly.
Right.
But if I were to put a cast around your knee so it can't bend, now you're going to walk with a limp. So if the knee breaks apart, you're going to not be able to walk. You're not going to be able to walk properly.
Right.
And so if the little bones that work just like the leg break apart, get stuck together, anything like that, then you're going to hear with a limp, and you're not going to hear properly. That's what's going on behind the eardrum. That's an air-filled space. If that air-filled space fills up with fluid, not from the shower, not from the swimming pool, this is fluid that's being pulled in from the membranes around that space because pressure's building up. So it's starting to draw fluid out. The eardrum can't move, right? The sound comes in and it bounces, and the eardrum's like, it can't move because it's a solid wall of fluid back there. You're not going to be able to hear very well. Everything that's happening from the outside of the ear to the eardrum, and in that air-filled space, the middle ear space behind the eardrum, those are things that we might be able to work with medically or surgically to help you hear better.
You mean those little bones?
The little bones can be have one of the little bones can be replaced with a titanium little prosthesis. It's a very common procedure. It's done all the time. It's called a stapedectomy. The eardrum may have a hole in it, so it's not moving properly. These are all things that an ear, nose, and throat doctor can really help us with in order to improve your hearing.
So what would cause a hole in the eardrum? A loud
Q-tip,
noise.
a
Q-tip.
Q-tip. Somebody.
Interesting.
I get it. I was cleaning my ears, and my wife walked in and the door opened and hit my elbow, and boom, went right through my kids playing with Q-tips. We can get if we. I've had domestic violence cases where a slap to the head just right can burst the eardrum, or hitting the water when we're water skiing or in the diving or things like that. Lots of things. It's a very, very fragile membrane, and what happens is you have nerves in the ear canal, and as you get closer and closer to that eardrum, the nerves are more they're more sensitive.
Now, are these little teeny things that
No,
go back and forth?
Nope, these are just nerves that if you touch them, you go, oh, ow, that hurts. And the reason why you have the nerves is because you're getting too close to the eardrum and it's too fragile. Move away. Don't put that Q-tip that close. You're getting too close.
Interesting.
So it's the body's way of protecting that very fragile eardrum. Once you go beyond that middle ear space, that is where you follow the nerve up to the brain. That's the cochlea, the little snail shape. There's your little hair cells.
That's where they are.
Yeah, that's the processing that takes the sound. It turns into an electrical signal that the brain understands. The brain works on electrical signals. And so the waves that are coming through the air are now transferred into a signal that the brain will understand as sound. And that, when there's damage there, there's nothing that we can really do medically or surgically to fix that. So then we're talking about amplification to help you combat that, right?
So that means hearing aids.
That means a hearing aid.
Interesting.
And then, or a cochlear implant, depending on the severity of the loss.
Wow.
It's a very, very intricate,
very complicated
process. So when I'm looking at a hearing test and I'm pushing all those buttons, I'm looking at, okay, I see a hearing loss, but where is it? Is it in this pathway, before the eardrum, after the eardrum, or going up to the brain? Where's the hearing loss? How do we interpret this result, and how do we do what's best for the patient? That is what a hearing doctor does.
Interesting.
This is not what a hearing aid dispenser salesperson does.
Right.
A hearing aid dispenser salesperson is there to test your hearing, to see how much hearing loss you have in order to properly fit a hearing aid. That is what their job is. Their job is not to determine, do you need to see an ENT? Where's the problem medically? How do we treat this so you can hear better? I can't tell you how many times I've seen hearing aids put on people who could have gone and just had a stapedectomy and heard better without a hearing aid. Let's do that. That's your choice, not mine. If you don't want to do surgery to fix that bone in the ear, that's your choice. Then we'll put a hearing aid on it, and some people choose that. But if you don't know and you're not educated by somebody who knows, then you're not given the opportunity to make your own choice. And I'm an advocate for people making their own choice about their own health and their own bodies.
It's very interesting. My parents always told me, do not use Q-tips in your ear. Because that has a tendency, if there's any wax in there, you may get the residual on the outside, but you end up pushing the wax further in.
Yes.
If there is any wax in there that needs to come out. And then it accumulates.
Yes. And then the sound can't get through.
Because you keep pushing that Q-tip in there to clean your ears, but you're not cleaning them. You're making them worse.
And I'm going to tell you a secret. When you look at the ear canal, from the outside, the opening of the ear canal down to the eardrum, the outer third portion of that canal has wax glands.
Wax glands?
And that's where the wax is secreted out of the skin of the ear.
Oh, my
Okay?
goodness.
On the outside, close to the opening. If I look in your ear and I see wax near your eardrum, it's been pushed there.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't use Q-tips.
Yeah. Well, people come in and they go, "Oh, I don't use Q-tips." Yeah, you do.
Oh, of course you do.
I can tell. You have to be using something in your ear to be pushing it down. Maybe it's a hearing aid. Hearing aids can do that, which means you need to be, people who get a lot of wax in their ears, it's best to see a provider who might remove wax for them, which we do at our office. Right?
I'm going to probably date myself here.
You're going to do what to yourself, Gene?
Date myself.
Date yourself. Okay.
The first, before the Q-tip problem, the main reason why we had ear infections is because of hairpins.
Oh, yeah.
Women used to wear hats and put a pin in to hold the hat in place, keep the wind from blowing it off. But they would also utilize the pin to scratch their ear and sometimes get the wax out. So when I first started in medicine, that was the common problem. It wasn't so much Q-tips. We had Q-tips then, but they weren't as they are now. But most people, women at least, used the hairpins. So that was unusual, but it created a lot of infections.
What do you mean using a hairpin? The one that you'd stick in your hair to hold the hair in place? One of those? They're about that long?
I get bobby pins. A lot of bobby pins.
And then hairpins, where they would either use the bobby pin or the hairpin to clean their ears out. So it was a common problem in, 50 years ago when I, first started in medicine. But, it's now we're just using different things, different tools to infect ourselves.
I get a lot of people who have come here from more third world countries. I get a lot of twigs. I use twigs.
Twigs?
Yeah.
To scratch my ear, to remove wax out of my ear.
Really? I'm learning so much today. Good heavens. Twigs.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, are these younger people who have been doing this, or more older people?
The bobby pins, and it might be because of a time period, age kind of thing. A lot of times people will say, my mom used bobby pins to clean my ears. My husband told me that. His mom used bobby pins to clean his ears when he was a child. And now he uses Q-tips, and I could just wring his neck every single day because he uses them right in front of me. And I'm like, oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's pushing the wax further in.
He doesn't
it's
have
getting
wax.
He doesn't.
And he doesn't need to be. Ears are self-cleaning. When the wax is secreted out of the skin, it hits the air dries the wax, and the wax sloughs out. All day, every day, that's what's happening.
That's right.
Let the ears clean themselves. And for people who get a tremendous amount of wax or use earbuds or hearing aids a lot, then see a professional to have it removed. Don't try to do it. I couldn't do it myself. I can't see my ears.
That's interesting, because I've often wondered how little bits of wax are in the ear in there. And where did that come from?
Yeah,
is it dirt? No, but I get it out and it's a little piece of wax.
It's coming from the skin, the wax glands in the skin.
Oh, my goodness. This is incredible. Absolutely.
I love the ears. I love it so much.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm so grateful to do what I do every day. Love it.
That is really interesting. And those little bones.
Little bones, smallest bones in the body.
Isn't that incredible?
Malleus, incus, and stapes.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, MIS.
MIS, that's how I learned it.
That's same here. When it came to the testing, that's how we remembered.
Yeah.
Hammer, anvil, and stirrup, right? Stirrup, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And did you learn the cranial nerves is on old Olympic towering tops. German and Swede shared some hops, something like that, to learn
Something
the
like
acronym
that,
of
yeah.
the, yeah.
Yeah, the cranial nerve.
German hops? That's beer, isn't it?
It's just an
It's
acronym to
from.
help you remember the names of the 12 cranial nerves.
Yeah, the anatomy. You had to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then you never used it again.
Never.
Barely. You'd be more specific. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these are the things that were drilled into us as sub-professionals to when we became professional.
Yep.
Even though it wasn't as important to learn the mechanisms, which we eventually learned through our experience.
Yes. And the experience is everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Like you were saying before, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What an interesting part of our body.
Yeah, when you're doing one thing all day, every day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and now all of a sudden I look back and it's been, 22 years almost that I've been doing this. There is a sense of instinct, and we were talking about that at the break a little bit, where I can talk to somebody and I, just by talking to you and hearing, and I know what questions to ask you, I pretty much know what that hearing test is going to show, and I can pretty much, guess pretty close as to what the treatment options would be.
We need to take a break, so let's continue this when
Yeah,
we come
yeah.
back. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Lots of people can build websites, but there's one Santa Clarita company that specializes in designing websites for your business. Small Dog Creative. The Small Dog Creative team is made up of local designers who are hands-on. Their talented team of experts build premium websites and redefine branding. Small Dog Creative doesn't just build websites. They'll upgrade your business's online presence and turn your business into a powerful online brand. Small Dog Creative, Santa Clarita's most innovative web and design company. SmallDogCreative.com.
Once heart attack symptoms begin, delaying treatment increases the risk of heart damage, disability, and even death. Time is critical. Leading the Valley with the most advanced digital technology and treatment times that beat national best practice goals, Providence offers emergency coronary angioplasty and stenting performed by highly trained board-certified cardiologists. For more information, call 1-888-HEALING. The road to healing leads to Providence.
You already know Salt Creek Grill has the best food in our valley. Well, now you can have Salt Creek's gourmet meals catered to your event.
I'm Greg Amsler, owner of Salt Creek Grill. I'd like to introduce you to a new level of catering, featuring our catering director, Tamara Levine.
Salt Creek Grill creates memorable experiences, which leaves our clients and guests with a sense of awe and excitement. From menu development to picturesque presentation, you'll enjoy culinary excellence and creative catering.
Salt Creek Grill, a new level of catering.
MB2 Raceway, fast, high-performance kart racing at LA County's only indoor electric kart racing facility, and you're the superstar driver. Motocross legend and DEI driver Ricky Carmichael and Team Andretti Green's Brian Herta race in MB2 when they're not fighting it out for world championships, and so can you. MB2 Raceway, located between San Fernando and Santa Clarita Valleys, where the 5, the 210, and the 14 freeways meet in Sylmar. It's MB2 Raceway. Dial 1-866-986-RACE. That's 1-866-986-RACE. MB2 Raceway, where racers race.
Hey bargain shoppers, did you know that there's a brand new grocery outlet in your area? At the new grocery outlet in Santa Clarita, you can cut your grocery bill in half with their otherworldly deals on brand name items. Find amazing deals on fresh produce, meat, dairy, and wine. These are actual everyday savings on the name brand groceries you know and love. It's no wonder all customers end up feeling such bliss at Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, now open on Plum Canyon Road near the Starbucks. See you there.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
It's time to enhance your natural beauty and well-being at Hestia Medical Spa. Hestia Medical Spa offers laser treatments for skin resurfacing, hair removal, and tattoo removal. Hestia Medical Spa uses high-quality laser machines, including Soprano Ice, which is painless and can be used for all skin types. Laser treatments have been on the rise in today's beauty industry. Experience rejuvenation at Hestia Medical Spa, located on Valencia Boulevard next to City Hall. Call 753-3434 or online at hestiamedicalspa.com.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Ginny Veloz, who is the owner of Santa Clarita Hearing Center, one of our sponsors. And let's continue the conversation or the information you were sharing before we took the break.
Well, we were just talking about, when you focus on one thing and you do that one thing over and over and over again, you number one, you can kind of process through the testing a little bit more quickly than somebody who's just coming out of school, just because we do it all day, every day, and then there's an instinct that comes, and that was something that we had talked about in the break, where after talking to thousands and thousands of people and looking in thousands of ears and, seeing the patterns that arise, it's, you start to get a sense of what's really going on, and then you put that together with the diagnostic information, and you get years and years of experience on top of the diagnostic information that's in front of you that you can put together and report back to primary care physician, report back to ear, nose, and throat doctor, and report to the patient. Right?
Yeah.
So
experience makes a huge difference, and that when people talk about Yelping or Googling, how do you always get that understanding from a Yelp or a Google? You don't. So how do our listeners get a hold of you?
You can reach me. The phone number to the office is 661-388-4135. We're located on the Henry Mayo Hospital campus, 23861 McBean Parkway. We're in Building D, like David, 14. And the website, in case you're in need of that emergency phone number, is SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com. You're more than welcome to go there, look at the information that's on that website, look at Google reviews, do your research, and see what you find. Yeah, be educated.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Ginny Veloz with a lot of experience at the Santa Clarita Hearing Center, 661-388-4135. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank for having
Great
me.
information. Thank you.
Yes.
We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.